It's 1918. After 3.5 long years of war, the Allies are in big trouble. In Russia, a revolution has happened, and its new government has made a peace deal with the Central Powers. This means thousands of German soldiers can now move to the Western Front. Over there, the terrible trench fighting has already killed more than 1 million people. But Germany is in a tough spot too. A long British blockade of their ports has caused food shortages and problems back home. At the same time, America has joined the war, bringing new soldiers and a lot of supplies for the Allies. Germany knows it will lose unless it can win fast on the Western Front. US President Wilson shares his plan, called the 14 points. It's his idea for what the world should look like after the war. This includes no more secret deals, smaller armies, letting people in the Austro-Hungarian Empire choose their own government, and a group of nations to solve problems peacefully. But most leaders in Europe don't take him seriously, and think his ideas are just a dream. In a place called Brest-Litovsk, Russia's new government signs a peace deal with the Central Powers. To get peace, Russia has to give up a huge amount of land. Now, 500,000 German soldiers can be moved from the east to the Western Front. There, a German general named Erich Ludendorff is planning one last big attack to try and win the war. Ludendorff's big attack in the spring completely surprises the Allies. Special German soldiers using new sneaky tactics push back the British Fifth Army, which has to run. The German push is so strong it almost splits the British and French armies apart, which would be a disaster. To fix this, a French general named Ferdinand Foch is put in charge of all Allied armies to lead the plan. Near a town called Amiens, British and Australian soldiers quickly put up a defense and managed to stop the Germans. The Germans now move their attack north, trying to capture the ports on the English Channel. But the British fight back hard, causing a lot of German casualties and stopping them from breaking through. In the sky, the war with aeroplanes is getting bigger and bigger. Both sides now have over 3,000 planes on the Western Front. But by 1918, the Allies are winning in the air because they have more money and supplies. On April 21st, Germany's most famous pilot, the Red Baron, is shot down and killed. His real name was Manfred von Richthofen. With 80 planes shot down, he was the best pilot of the war. The Allies buried him with great respect. Around the same time, Britain's new bombing group attacks the city of Cologne during the day. This is the start of Britain's own plan to bomb important targets in Germany. Back on the ground, Ludendorff moves his attack south to fight the French. German soldiers push forward 30 miles, but are stopped at the Marne River. This happens right as new American troops are joining the fight. The US 1st Division fights its first battle at Cantigny. Just 3 days after that, the US 2nd Division wins a battle at Belleau Wood. By this point, almost 1 million American soldiers are in France, and 10,000 more are coming every single day. The Germans' next attack pushes forward 9 miles, but it's stopped by a French attack back at them. Over in Italy, Austria-Hungary attacks at the Piave River to help Germany's attack in France. But they are beaten back and lose many soldiers. After this defeat, the soldiers in the Austro-Hungarian army lose all hope. Meanwhile, British and French soldiers arrive in northern Russia. This is the start of the Allies getting involved in Russia's own civil war, helping the side that was against the new government. On the Western Front, the Germans' very last attack is stopped at the Second Battle of the Marne. Ludendorff's big push has cost Germany over 600,000 soldiers, either killed or wounded, and it didn't manage to break through the Allied lines. Germany's last big bet didn't work. Now, it's the Allies' turn to attack. At the Battle of Amiens, soldiers from Britain, Australia, Canada and France, with help from tanks and planes, move forward 7 miles in just 1 day. General Ludendorff even called August 8th the Black Day of the German army. The German soldiers are tired, hungry, and have lost the will to fight. Thousands of them start to give up. This battle kicks off what's called the 100 Days Offensive. The days of trench fighting are done. The Germans are now running back. In an area called the Balkans, a new Allied attack breaks through the Bulgarian lines. The Bulgarian army was spread too thin, and it just falls apart. 2 weeks later, Bulgaria agrees to stop fighting. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, British-led armies beat the Turks at the Battle of Megiddo and capture 25,000 prisoners. Soon, Allied soldiers take control of the cities of Damascus and Aleppo. Back on the Western Front, Marshal Foch orders all his armies to attack. British, French and American soldiers reach the Hindenburg Line, which was a very strong line of German defenses, and they break right through it. Ludendorff tells the German Emperor, the Kaiser, that there's no hope of winning. He says Germany has to ask to stop the fighting. Germany sends a message to the US President, Woodrow Wilson. Wilson replies that Germany must leave all the lands it took over, and that the Kaiser must give up his power. On the Italian front, the Allies give the final push that defeats Austria-Hungary in a big battle. The Austro-Hungarian army completely falls apart, and the Allies capture 300,000 prisoners. As the Central Powers are about to lose the war, the Ottoman Empire also agrees to stop fighting with the Allies. 4 days after that, Austria-Hungary officially agrees to stop fighting. In a German port town called Kiel, the German Navy is ordered to go on a hopeless attack against the British Navy. But the sailors refuse to go and they rebel. This rebellion spreads across Germany like a fire. The Kaiser gives up his throne, and Germany becomes a republic. On November 11, 1918, a group of German leaders signs the agreement to stop the war. They sign it with the Allies inside Marshal Foch's personal train car. The agreement was set to start at 11 a.m., but the fighting went on right up to the very last second. An American soldier, Henry Gunther, was killed at 10:59 a.m. while attacking a German machine gun. He's believed to be the last soldier to die in World War I. 3 days after the war ended in Europe, a German general in East Africa finally gives up. For 4 whole years, his small army had kept a huge number of Allied soldiers busy. He was never beaten, even though he was completely cut off from Germany. Today people still see him as one of the best guerrilla fighters in history. Leaders from around the world meet for a peace conference at the Palace of Versailles in France. They agree to create a new group called the League of Nations to solve problems between countries peacefully. But the peace deal they sign, the Treaty of Versailles, is very tough on Germany. Germany's army is made very small, it has to pay for the damages of the war. It loses land to its neighbors, and its lands in other parts of the world are taken away. Germany is also forced to take all the blame for the war, which made many Germans angry for a long time. The map of Europe is changed completely. Poland becomes a country again after 100 years. The old Austro-Hungarian Empire is broken up into new countries like Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia. The Ottoman Empire is also taken apart. New countries are made in the Middle East, but most are controlled by European powers. This created problems that would lead to more fighting later on. Over in Asia, Germany's old territories in China are given to Japan, which makes China very angry. World War I killed 9.5 million soldiers. That's 1 out of every 8 men who fought. Another 21 million were hurt. 7 million regular people also died. Huge parts of Europe were completely destroyed. Old empires disappeared, and new countries were created. People's lives all over the globe were changed forever. The world would never be the same. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Alex Histoer. You can also find out how to help us create more videos by checking out our Patreon page.